outlawed online preaching and prayer in a sweeping religious crackdown. Online sermons, live streaming, evangelism, sharing scripture digitally is now illegal in China unless it's approved by the government. And here's why you need to be very aware of what's going on. If Christians in America don't stand up, this is coming to the U.S. as well. They're coming for freedom of speech. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, a man was literally killed for freedom of speech. And people are now being fired from their jobs because they're speaking out in opposition to what happened. There's literally censorship going on from both sides of the political parties in the United States. And soon, they're going to try to label Christianity as hate speech so they can ban it online as well. Don't let it get to that point, but stand up.
First and foremost, before we get started, I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Quadash, and double honors to those great millstone, while unto his truth, and also to those elect that are scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great and powerful lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And the type of day lesson is China outlaw online preaching and prayer. So I like to say shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope this will help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So we seen in the opening clip that, that China is outlawing online preaching and prayer, and also people that, that exchanging scriptures online and many other things. So we already knowing that famine of the word is fast approaching. Also, we know that this is getting ready to come soon to America. We already knowing that DJ Donald Trump is also is already putting all sorts of laws and different mandates out about freedom of speech, censorship, hate speech. A lot of these things are coming upon us at a fast pace. So we're seeing right now what happened with TikTok. We're seeing that now that this company, Oracle, has bought the majority of TikTok. Now it's going to be only American owned. They're not going to show anything like in different countries, just only right here in America. And I think bike stand, I think that's part of China that got maybe about 20% or whatever. But we're not ignorant of Satan's device. We already knowing that, they want to control the narrative. We already knowing that the Lord is constantly making Esau bear and barrel. So right here, we knowing that we seem like every time we look around, China, is on the forefront of bringing these things to pass. We already knowing about this digital system that they already have putting in place. Now we knowing that now they saying that they're outlaw online preaching and prayer to end sweeping religion crackdown. So one thing about it, we already knowing that the Lord is the one that's going to bring forth the famine of the world. I know the guy said in the video, we got to stand up. No, we're not going to stand up. We're just going to stand up for Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. The Lord said, wait on me until I rise up against the prey. So the Lord is going to cause these things to happen. So at a particular time, the Lord is going to close his mouthpiece up. The Lord is going to stop talking, and he's going to get busy. The Lord is going to bring forth that judgment like you have never seen before. That's where we at right now. That's why we constantly warn you left and right. Hear the words of the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. These are not our words. These are the words from Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, the one that sent us. And not about the prophets are in the highways and byways, constantly making these video pistols left and right. A lot of people still scoffing and mocking, saying, I seen the other day off the elder, the beloved elder out of South Carolina, Monatizah. He did a lesson on this lady was scoffing and mock about a 12 tribe chart, talking about she wants scripture, verse, and some other thing, and one thing about it, the Lord is constantly exposing, the Lord is constantly shifting the house. And one thing about it, when Jacob trouble start, there ain't gonna be no more talk. A lot of people are going to get in order when Jacob's trouble start, when the prophets stop speaking. That's when you're going to get your ass in order. But one thing about a lot of our people, you know what I'm saying, they're in for a rude awakening. So let's get a little bit of this report. This here is a quick Google search. This one here is by the Catholic Herald. You know, I just looked it up and I seen that video and I seen that, you know, seeing was it a news article or something to go along with it. So when you see something, you're supposed to say something. So we know that a particular time that, you know, persecution of the saints is coming. The Lord said, first they hated him and they also shall hate you. So one thing about it, you know, for this gospel, you know, going out preaching, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people, you know, don't know what they're involved in. You know, you out there playing around or just winging it, faking till you make it. Well, guess what? You're going to be a part of that club too. And everybody already, you know, labeling us, demonizing us as the Black Hebrew Israelites, some type of organization, what I like, but we are the Israelites of the Bible, the chosen peoples of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. So we coming upon some very, very perilous time, some evil time. And we constantly warning you left and right. And a lot of people, you know, a lot of people are going to be martyrs for this truth. You know, some of the elect, you know, that's going to be the way they're going to go out and you're going to be beheaded. But one thing about it, but they are going to receive palm. They're going to get the victory. They're going to overcome. And out about the kingdom of heaven is fast approaching. And also we know that immortality is right around the corner. We know that spiritual power is right around the corner. We're so very excited. We're so close. We love to see things like this. We know that this is coming to America very soon. We know that America, Babylon the Great, is the last and final piece before the Lord great and glorious return. We cannot wait, man. We are here. Let's get a little bit of this report. It says China outlaws online preaching and prayers in sweeping religion crackdown. Let's get a little bit of this. This here came out about 6 days ago. I think it was September the 18th when this first came out. It said China has issued a sweeping new code of conduct. It said banning priests and preachers of all faiths from using the internet to carry out religious activities. The State Administration for Religious Affairs published the Code of Conduct for Religious Teachers and Personnel through state media on the 15th of September. The code, which contained 18 articles, came into force immediately and lays down new rules on online activity for clergy and religious personnel. So among the prohibitions are bans on online preaching, said live streaming, says what this one here said liturgies, it says eulogies. It says, I think that's what they said, liturgies or whatever. So like you for that. It said prayer meetings, and the religious instruction of children. Said clergy are not permitted to distribute religion publication digitally. I think that's what they said. Digitally, or organize any form of online worship. Said the regulations also forbid raising money online for religious purpose, including the construction of churches. Wow, man. You know, the Lord is not in buildings made with hand no way, so we didn't give a damn about that. Said the code states that religious personnel must not conclude with foreign forces, or said through the internet, of a phase that appears to include any contact with the Vatican, describes as oversee religion infiltration activity. Man, I'll tell you, that's what we're going to get on this, but it's a little bit more meat in that, but, you know, it's going a little bit deeper. But right here, the one of, you know, like right now, you know, we can turn on We can turn on a live stream, right from our phone right now. It's very convenient right now. So it's going to come a time whereby, a lot of people right now, they're safe and it's convenient right now in your home. You come home, you can just turn your flat screen TV on, and you can just pull up YouTube. Bam, there you got all the prophets right there. They can go live 24/7. Pretty much just pretty much on every hour, every minute. This truth is coming out. The Lord said the truth shall be clear, then shall the end come. So at a particular time, we know that the Lord is going to bring this to a close, and he's getting ready to usher in the kingdom of heaven that dwells in right. So we're not going to be teaching one another. Like, when we go into the new covenant, a lot of these guys going around and talking about we're in the new covenant. We're not in the new covenant. Not about we're in a transition phase right now. You know what I'm saying? And but one thing about it, a lot of our people right now is going to be in for a rude awakening. So when the Lord closed the mouthpiece down, they're going to be searching for the truth from the south to the north to the east to the west, and a lot of them is not going to find it because the opportunity is now to seek the Lord, because we're seeing right now over there in China, they saying you don't want you to be online, you're not teaching the truth, not going live, not exchanging Bible scriptures. That's a lot of things that they, there's going to be a precursor that is going to come to America. So we seeing right here once again, China outlaws online preaching and prayers in sweeping religion crackdown. So we're already knowing that at some particular time, could be the end of this year, could be next month, because we're seeing how this man is moving in warp speed, bringing all sorts of executive orders, all sorts of mandates and decrees that he's bringing forth left and right. But we already know that it's coming down to freedom of speech, coming down to censorship laws, coming down to if you say something, or you say something against the government, or you say something against those small hatters over there, then you're going to be demonized, and you're going to be an enemy of the state, and you will be in prison. Also, a lot of us, will be unalive. So these things are coming upon us. So we coming upon some serious time. The devil should cast some of you into prison before what? For his name's sake. So now, I start today's quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah. So we're seeing right now, famine of the word is fastly approaching. In the middle of the Lord, we constantly been warning you. All the game's about to be over. It says here, Amos chapter 3 and verse 11 said, behold, the days come, said the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. So it's going to come a time whereby the Lord is going to make our tongue cleave to the roof of our mouth, and we won't be no more reproval. No one out here trying to tell you, warning you or none of that. That's going to be over with. We coming upon these times. The Lord is getting ready to let all hell break loose. That's what we constantly warn you about. So the famine of the word is fast approaching. And one thing about it, the door of repentance is closing. Verse 12, it said, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north, even from the east, they shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. So they're going to be searching everywhere, and they will not find it. So we coming upon that time where, the Lord, you're not going to be in the highways and the byways anymore. You're not going to be making these video pistols, because they're going to take down the internet. They're going to shut your channel down. They're going to demonize you. A lot of us are going to be public enemy number one. Persecution of the saints are coming. A lot of us going to be brought, before a lot of officials, telling either you stop doing this and we want you to take this. But one thing about it, we're going to trust and believe in Yahweh Shema Shah, the famine of the word. It is fast approaching. It is at the door. So now let's go here to Micah chapter 3. Micah chapter 3 and verse 6. Micah chapter 3. Verse 6, let's get them some right quick, just random scriptures. It said, therefore night shall be unto you, that ye shall not have a vision. And it shall be dark unto you, that ye shall not divine, and the sun shall go down over the prophets. And the day shall be dark over them. So we seeing right now, we coming upon this time. These things are fast approaching. That's what we constantly warning you about, left and right. These things fastly approach. Let's read in the NLT. He said, now the night will close around you. He said, cutting off all your visions. You know what I'm saying? The prophecies, the signs of the time. Darkness will cover you. He said, putting an end to your predictions. He said, the sun will set for you prophets, and your day will come to an end. So we coming very close at these times. The Lord, he's getting ready, shut the mouthpieces up, so the prophets, he's finna let the sun go down over them very soon. That means that, the Lord's finna shut it down. The day cometh, the night cometh when no man worketh. So we coming upon these times, man. That's what we constantly warn you about, left and right, just random scriptures that I'm seeing here. Let's go here let's go straight to the point. Let's go here to Amos. Let's go back to Amos. Something else I want to get out of Amos. Amos chapter 5 and verse 10. We already knowing right now they're going to hate him that rebukes at the gate. It's at the what? At the highways and byways, the chief place of concourse. Let's go here to see where it's at. Here it is right here. Amos chapter 5 and verse 10 say, they hate him that rebuketh, say, in the gate, say, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. And who speaketh uprightly? Are the prophets, the one that's sighing and crying, the ones in the highways and byways, the one that's making these video pistols, the one that's constantly warning you left and right, the one that's sounding like a broken record. Everybody hate him that rebuketh at the gate. That means, in the chief place of concourse, in the highways and the byways, constantly, keep it not silent. The Lord said, lift up your voice like a trumpet, spare none. Don't give a damn what they thinking about. And one thing, that's what we're doing. Let's read it in the NLT. Say how you hate honest judges. And who are the judges? Those are the what? The men of the law. When you go back to Genesis chapter 1, the gods, go back to the divine one, the judges, the rulers. Hey, they're here, man. We come to the one. You say, so how you despise people who tell the truth. That's what's going on right now. A lot of people despise, the words of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. They hate him that, when he tell you the truth, you hate him because of the truth, because he's cutting your ass, because you are wicked, you're rebellious, and the Lord's getting ready to destroy you. That's what we constantly want you. And the Lord said, first my judgment will start at the house of Israel. We already knowing that, wicked Israelites in the past, they killed the prophet, and they're going to pay for that. Let's go here to let's see what's the one I want to get here. Let's go to John chapter 15. Let's go to St. John chapter 15. St. John chapter 15, just a quick lesson. Let's see here. St. John. Let's see. Let me see. Do I want to go to St. John? Yeah, St. John, something I want to get out of there. St. John chapter 15. And let's start at verse 18. I think it's around 18 where I want to start up at. Let's start here at 18. It says here, verse 18 says, if the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. Said verse 19 said, if ye were of the world would love his own, but said, because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hate you. Verse 20 said, remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. Say, if they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. Verse 21, it says, but all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. So one thing about it is that we know that the Lord, what he had to go to. The Lord made the ultimate sacrifice for we could get this wisdom, this knowledge, understanding. And I said, we will have to walk also, whatever that walk is. We're going to have to walk that walk. We're going to have to constantly persevere each and every day, what I'm saying, through any type of situation. What I'm saying? The Lord said the same that endure, the same shall be saved. So we coming upon these times, left and right. We are here, it's at the door. So we knowing that, you know what I'm saying, that we're going to have to suffer. You know, some of us are going to be martyrs for this truth. Some of us going to be thrown into prison. Some of us going to be beaten. You know what I'm saying? Some of us going to, go through all sorts of tribulation, great trials and tribulation. That's where we at right now. So, we don't care. You know what I'm saying? We're going to strive for this truth until death. You know what I'm saying? The Lord said he will fight for us. So that's what he's doing right now. All we got to do is constantly trust and believe, constantly endure. You know what I'm saying? When these times come upon us, we knowing that the devils get ready to come down with great wrath. And out about, we're not of the world. You know what I'm saying? Out about, we live in this world. We do things to maintain, but we have a different mindset. Wisdom and knowledge should be what? The stability of the time. Your faith is getting ready to be tried. So now, let's go here to Matthew chapter 5. Let's go into Matthew chapter 5. Matthew chapter 5. We might close out here. Might probably get one more when we close out. Matthew chapter 5, let's start at verse 10. Matthew chapter 5 and verse 10. It says here, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for there is the kingdom of heaven. Verse 11 said, blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all matter of evil against you falsely for my name's sake. So we coming upon that time. You're going to get demonized. You're going to be, lied on. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be put all kind of falsehood upon you. But the Lord said, constantly persevere. Take it cheerfully. The Lord said he's going to give you what to say, where they will be able not to gainsay or resist. So we coming upon these times. You know what I'm saying? We coming into some turbulent time. We seeing right now, it's getting, it's getting more harder and harder to put this truth out. Certain things you cannot say. There's certain things you cannot do anymore. So, they trying to put the grip. It's getting tighter and tighter, but the Lord is calling these things to happen. So the word has gone out. The truth is being declared. And one thing about it, we already knowing that, the Lord is doing the mighty work. The vibration is changing. Verse 11 said, blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my name's sake. Verse 12 said, rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. So one thing about it, you already know what happened, back in Yahushua time, what happened to the disciples, you know what I'm saying? One thing about it, we gonna have to walk the same walk. If you're the servant is not greater than the master. And the one thing about it, we all gotta pick up our cross and follow who? Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. The Lord already said the same they endure, all the suffering, all the persecution, the trials, imprisonment, you know what I'm saying? Might get almost beaten to death. You might get go through all sorts of calamities, but in the end, you know what I'm saying, we are waiting on that crown of life, immortality, rulership, spiritual power. That's why the Lord said, rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecute they the prophets which were before you. And that about the reward is the what? The kingdom of heaven that dwells in righteousness. That's what we're longing for each and every day. The kingdom of heaven is fast approaching. We knowing that they get ready to come with all these different laws, whereby, if you caught teaching, you caught doing this, you caught saying this, they're going to persecute you. They're going to put you in a FEMA camp or some type of facility. A lot of us going to the guillotine, you know what I'm saying? Very few going to be martyrs, but the bulk of Israel will be saved if you're part of that election. The house of David, the true believers of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. The Lord is getting ready to return. We constantly warning you left and right. We coming upon these times. Evil times are ahead. Let's go to our last and final script. Let's go here to Acts chapter 14. Let's go here to Acts chapter 14 and verse 22. Let's go here. Let's get this one right quick. Verse 22, if I'm not mistaken. We'll close that here. And we're seeing what China is doing, a precursor of what is coming to America, coming soon to America. Acts chapter 14 and verse 22, it said, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith. It said, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of God, of the kingdom of heaven that dwells in right. So we know that we're going to go through these things. We're going to go through all sorts of persecution. Some of us going to be martyrs, you know what I'm saying? Also, some of us are going to not taste death until, you know, to Shiloh return. So, you know what I'm saying? We know that we're very close to this time. We're living in some very exciting time. Bible prophecies are speaking loud and clear. We know that the devil's getting ready to come down with great wrath. So we know that the stage is set. All things are ready. We're seeing what's going on in China. We're seeing what they're doing all across the world. Guess what? It's coming to America very soon. We know that all hell is going to break loose. Great tribulation is upon us. But all we must do is constantly what? Trust and believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashim, constantly endure, constantly, you know, be steadfast, constantly meditate day and night in His great wisdom and knowledge. Watch, pray, be circumspect. Because one thing about it, we knowing that we coming upon this time fast and approaching. And the Lord said, hold what you have. And He's getting ready to give you what? Power over the nation. We are so very close. We're so very excited. So the title of the day lesson, once again, is China Outlaws, Online Preaching and Prayer. So I like to give all prayer. I like to give all praises to Laki. I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.